Hey, this is Jason with Call Telemetry, and this is part 2 of our 911 alert series. In part 1, we added 911 demo as a policy. We used the curry or the ECC external call control profile URL to link it to Call Telemetry. We can see it's registered. We also created our first rule. All calls to 911 will go through this rule. This rule has alerts. The destination's going to email and a WebEx team space with these members invited. We also have an alert template. All these variables are transposed in real time with the caller's data. Today, we're going to look at how to use the address text, the near, and the location fields. Now, an address text is the best and final street address that we can locate for the caller based on the following priority: a subnet match, switch, port level, or phone level. Near is going to be a text description of a switch IDF, or maybe an access point in the future. But we're getting about 300 feet radius from the caller. Location is going to be a port level description or a phone level description that's been assigned by a user or administrator. So let's take a look at the 3 integration points we'll need to get this data. Let's go to Settings, Call Managers. Now I can already see they're successful, so let's hit Edit and take a look at what's there. I added a name, an IP, a version, and I have CCM admin in the Axle and the RIS fields. We can hit Test, we can see that's all successful. And if you have a very large cluster, you can tune some of these parameters down here. I also added a Meraki API key. Let's look at the settings and click on E911 integrations. I got an API token from Meraki. I'm going to hit test, make sure that's successful. It says it's successful. So with all that in place, let's take a look at what E911 Manager has discovered from our inventory. After entering just 2 credentials for Call Manager and a Meraki API key, the system has already discovered all this information, and I'm off to a great start. Let's talk about Meraki first. So the Meraki switch has matched a switch in this network. The address was pulled from Meraki, and the notes field of the switch was pulled to give it a near indicator. Now the rest of these, I can tell they're on the same subnet, and they're probably on the same switch. So let's first assign the subnet an address. Now in the real world, sometimes a subnet will span multiple addresses, but it is a good start. So we're going to assign this to headquarters and take a look at the 911 manager. It's looking pretty good. All right. We have the possibility to add a near indicator, but a subnet doesn't really give us enough information to do that. So let's go to switches and put an indicator on our switch. Let's go ahead and assign it to that address. And let's give it a location of the 2nd floor and then take a look at 911 manager. Perfect. Now we have lots of information to identify all of our callers. Now, I'll cover it in the next video. There will be a QR code that will help us get down to the port level or help us deal with some of these off-premise phones, but that'll be for next time. I'm going to go ahead and dial our 911 test pattern here to make sure we get all this great data on a real-time alert. And there it is in the top right. The WebEx space is lit up. Let's take a look. Here's the WebEx space with all the data. And here's the email at the corresponding time with all the same data. It's the easiest product out there to get instant E911 alerts with location data down to the switch level and further to any platform or webhook. In part 3, I'm going to show you how to use QR codes to source port-specific and phone-specific information to get even more accuracy. Don't forget the like button or subscribe if you like where this is headed. Thanks.